Now we go to our penultimate final of the first round of the season, and it's DD2. Here is your starting grid. So from pole position, it will be Belgium's Tom Braken that will start on pole with Teresa Babičková alongside. Enzo Bol and Maxime Dirks will be on row 2, representing the Netherlands and Belgium. It's an all-Danish row number 3 with Victor Frospe and Carl Gustav Borgaard. Latvia and France on row 4 with Martin Zianovskis and Jules Cousin. Latvia and France again completing the top 10 with Patrick Snols, Lokmelis and Kilian Gerhard. It's Latvia and Canada on row 6 with Emil Zachmans and Lucas Pernod. Denmark and France on row number 7 with Nicky Pedersen and Enzo Boulogne. Belgium and the Netherlands on row 8 with Nicolas Guillaume and Jordi Westerleken. Then Mats-Johan Overhoff from Germany and Imke Arts from the Netherlands on row number 9, completing the top 20 representing Greece and the United Arab Emirates. It's Ilias Kaliakmanis and Kane Cherian. Rounding out the 24-strong grid, it's Kian de Brandt from Belgium, Finland's Ville Viljainen, France's Marcelo Vigna-Parod, and from Belgium, Jordi Kleber. So the drivers now make their way towards the 12th and final corner. They will have to get into formation very, very soon. But it's Braken and Babičková on the front row. Enzo Bol will have a good run down to turn number 2 as they slowly crawl their way and start to build speed and momentum out of the final corner. Into the tram lines we go. Revs rise. Are we ready? Are we steady? Lights are out. First time here in the DD2 final. And Babičková looks to go round the outside of Tom Braken into turns 1 and 2. Dirks was also looking to try and get his way through, but it's Enzo Bol that's made it up into second position, nearly 3 abreast going into turn number 4 on the opening exchange on this first lap. Babičková drops down to third position, but has Victor Frospe for close company in 4th place just behind. One driver has gone off, and that is the 451. And that is Jules Cousin, who started in 8th position. Field now makes its way up to turn number 9. Some of them already making their way down towards turn 10. And now it is the 2 from SP Motorsport, the young Chargers. Braken leading Bol, Babičková, and then Maxime Dirks gets through on the 411 of Victor Frospe. Carl Gustav Borgaard is a little bit further behind. Kilian Gerhard, Patrick Snols, Lokmelis have gotten in front of the Dane, and the Frenchman gets a bump from behind from the Latvian. Martin Zianovskis is there waiting in the wings as well. So the drivers making their way through once again off of turn number 8. Bol in second, Braken leading the way. Maxime Dirks goes on the defensive in front of Victor Frospe. A little bit further behind. Imke Arts is getting her elbows out. I think it might have just gotten past one driver, including the likes of Mats-Johan Overhoff from Germany in the 455. But there has been a change as Kilian Gerhard centred up the inside of Victor Frospe through turn number 7 off of the Europlan. And now the French driver finds his way up into 5th place. Dirks, in the meantime, is closing in on Teresa Babičková for P3. Lucas Pernod hopefully trying to move up the order himself. And there's a send and a half from Lokmelis. Deep into turn number 12. And now Babičková keeps to the... Well, Didix went round the outside on the start-finish straight. And now we've got a warning flag. That is for the 4.55. And that is... Oh, slap on the wrist. Naughty boy, Mats Johan Overhoff. Hopefully, that gives you a little bit of incentive to push forward, but to make sure the moves that you make are clean. 11 minutes and 44 seconds plus an additional lap. And now another move. Babičková loses a position to Gerhardt, who gets through at turn 9. Babičková stays behind the French driver in the 4.01. But Braken is pulling away from Bol. Akmans has got the fastest lap of the race in his pocket at the moment with a 54.977. And the queue is building behind Kilian Gerhardt as Lokmelis looks up the inside through turn 3 on Victor Frostbay, but can't make the best of it. At the back of that train, that is Enzo Boulogne and Canada's Lucas Pernot. So they have an opportunity to get themselves up towards the top 5. Still plenty of time in this race to go. 10 minutes and 43 seconds remaining, plus an additional lap. It's anyone's guess on who is going to finish where. Victor Frostbay lunges up the inside of Teresa Babičková, gets through. She now drops down a further position. That is going to be 5th place for the Czech Republic driver. Another send by one of the other drivers. That might be Ilias Kaliakmanis, but Lokmelis is definitely getting his elbows out. He's got through on Babičková, and she drops down to 6. Janovskis is there. Borgard is there. Akmans is there. Pernot is there. Viljainen, well, no surprise, he's been flying his way up the order as the Finn, down from 22nd on the grid, and he now has made up 10 places. And now there's a bit of bumping and boring. Akmans, and that is the 4.37 of Carl Gustav Borgard managed to get through. That was on, of all people, Martins Janovskis. There's Lucas Pernot in the 4.50. The last race yesterday saw the Canadian have dramas due to someone accidentally going over him in an incident. And then there's a lunge up the inside from Ville Viljainen on the Canadian. And the Finn gets through. Now with just over 9 minutes remaining, Gerhardt and Frostbay have to now start pushing forward to catch up to the trio in front. Because between Gerhardt and Braken, there's a gap of around about 3.2 seconds to close in, and there's 2 further opponents in the way. Maxim Didix in 3rd, Enzo Bol in 2nd position. Victor Frostbay has just put in the fastest lap of the race. And is it going to be a case of where is Frostbay going to send it up the inside of Gerhardt? It might not be that much longer until we find out. It could be down the Europalan. And Frostbay has made the move. I thought it might have happened. It did happen. And that was off of the Europalan at turn number 7. So now, with the wind beneath this side pod, so to speak, he can start chasing down Maxim Didix. Emil Akmans again, last time around after 7 laps, posts the fastest lap of the race, a 54.527. So we are past the halfway point of this last race. for these drivers. And then we have one more race to go after this, which will be the DD2 Masters, and they will bring the opening round of the season to a close. Seven minutes still to go, plus an additional lap. And the order still might see a little bit of shuffling, a bit like a card deck. Tom Bracken's lead now extends to 1.768 seconds. And what's more, he's the first driver to dip into the 54 threes. 54.329 by the young Belgian after 9 laps completed. As I said, the more changes afoot. We just don't know. It depends on how well the drivers have strategized and kept their tires. You know, sometimes it pays dividends to hold back, wait, and then if someone starts to find that they struggle with the grip on this circuit, because there has been a lot of track evolution over the last 2 days, and there is a move that's just happened. That's the 410 of Viliainen past Latvia's Martins Janovskis. Through into turn number 10 and now got the move done by turn 11. Imke Arts rounds out the top 15. She's trying to chase down the likes of Enzo Boulogne and Mats Johan Overhoff, who round out the top 14 places overall. So Jules Cousin out of the race, and Kian de Brandt, I think, might not be taking any further participation. Well, he's just crossed the start-finish line. So 23 out of 24 drivers are continuing to race around this circuit. The lead has also improved, as just spotted Mats Johan Overhoff passing Enzo Boulogne through into turn number 12, now taking 13th position. Imke Arts rounds out the top 15 still at this point, and it's Kane Cherian from the UAE. Good to see Danny Brandt back in the paddock once again. That Tony Hogg's going to be making his return to Europe next week for the Euro Trophy, because he's already told me. So, Danny, you're going to have to put up with this cold weather for a little bit longer, I think, mate. But top 10 with just 4 minutes and 15 to go. Bracken leads by nearly 2 seconds. Bol in second. Dirks, Frostbay, Gehan, Lokmelis, Babichkova, Akmans, Borgard and Viliainen. But Patrick Snolls-Lokmelis is not quite out of the woods just yet, because Teresa Babichkova and also Emil Akmans are closing in on the 481. So this is the battle for P6 on the road. Kilian Gerhardt is a little bit further up the road and is closing in on Victor Frostbay, who he's been battling with for quite a lot. They've got just in front of them Belgium's Maxime Dirks. Move up the inside of Babichkova by Akmans. That's now a change for 7th. Now there's a change for position. That's 4th. It's gone in the favour of Kilian Gerhardt, but Victor Frostbay will look to take that back. Is going to be hard on the brakes, late on the brakes, through into turn 7. Then the Dane gets back through for 4th place. And Tom Bracken will now complete lap number 14 in this race with just over 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. And running in the low 54-second bracket, Enzo Bol has just put in his personal best of the race. 54.272. Vili-Villainen also setting a personal best. So has Nicolas Guillaume and also Jordi Clébaut. Jordi Clébaut started at the back of the grid and has made up 7 places and is only just over 4/10 off of the 444 from Belgium. So a minute and a half remains on the timer. But there is still time for some drivers to have a little bit of a risk versus reward decision to make, whereby they might decide to go for a move that they are fully committed in, they have self-belief, and they know that they can make it work. But whether that opportunity presents itself is one completely different situation altogether. If you're not close enough, if you're not within that window, if you're not through, coming out of turn 12 or coming out of turn 6, if you haven't got the best to run on the person in front of you, you will not have that significant slipstream advantage and then get the side draft. 2 laps remain as lap 16 has been completed by current race leader Tom Bracken, who extends his lead over SP Motorsport teammate Enzo Bol to just over 2.5 seconds. Maxime Dirix holding on to P3. Victor Frostbay, Kilian Gerhard, Patrick Snows-Lockmelis, Emil Zachmans, Teresa Babišková, and then we got Denmark's Carl Gustav Borgaard and Finland's Vili-Villainen, rounding out the top 10 out of 23 drivers that are still circulating. The timer has now officially expired. Enzo Bol was the shining light yesterday with a second and a victory. Tom Bracken took the win in the pre-final and also has secured pole positions on both successive days, showcasing and underlying the pace that he has. Both these drivers at the front of the field have jumped from junior to DD2. Final lap underway. Gap now is still 2.5 seconds between Bracken and Bol, but the battle for P3 could be coming down to the wire. Maxime Dirix still holding on in the 499 for Shapers Racing. Then it's RS Competitions, Victor Frostbay. Kilian Gerhard waiting and hoping there's an opportunity that might present itself. And he looks to the outside of Victor Frostbay into turn 7. The Dane goes under the defensive racing line and holds the position, but nearly opens the door through turn 8. But as I say that, our race leader now out of turn number 11. Turn 12, it's going to be a double race victory in the pre-final and the final couple with pole position today. It's Tom Bracken victorious on home soil. Enzo Bol makes it a Stanpex Motorsport 1-2 in the final. Third, it's Maxime Dirix. Victor Frostbay and Kilian Gerhard round out the top 5 positions. Patrick Snows-Lockmelis, Emil Zachmans, Teresa Babišková, Carl Gustav Borgaard and Vili-Villainen round out the top 10. Martin Zianovskis, Mats Johan Overhoff, Lucas Pernod, Enzo Boulogne and Imke Arts round out the top 15. And there's the solidarity between these two drivers. Not just teammates, but good friends off the circuit. Nicolas Guillaume, Jordi Clébaut, Nicky Peterson, Kane Cherian and Marcelo Vigna-Parod round out the top 20. Jordi Westerlaken, Ilyas Kaliakmanis and Kian de Brandt round out the 23 strong that finished. And unfortunately, on lap 7, we lost Jules Cousin.